Okay, so again, we just learned about the limit rules in the previous video. If you haven't seen those, I encourage you to go back and check that, or at least find the sheet with the list of rules so that you can use these. But yeah, trying to solve these problems with the rules. We're given the values of the limit as x approaches 7 of f of x equals 18, and the limit as x approaches 7 of g of x equals 6. We don't know what these functions are, but we do know what the values of these two functions are at 7. And it wants us to determine the value of f of x plus g of x at 7. So again, if we use our laws of addition and subtraction, says that the limit of that combined value can be broken apart into the two parts. So this is the same as the limit as x approaches 7 of f of x plus the limit as x approaches 7 of g of x. I have values for that, which are 18 plus 6, and so I would get 24 is my value there. Easy enough. Example B, limit as x approaches 9 f of x is 36, so a new function. As it approaches 9 is 36. We want to know the limit of the square root of that function as we get to 9. So I can also write that is going to be equal to the square root of the limit as x approaches 9 of f of x. What allows me to do that is the power law, and in this case where n is a half, or the square root. So I can take the square root of both parts. I know that part in the middle now is 36, and so that this expression must be equal to 6. I guess technically it could be plus or minus 6 in this case. We generally would assume it to be 6, but it could be plus or minus 6. Okay? And then part C is we've got this expression up here, which is actually going to involve lots of different rules. We have to get involved with that. So we've got, again, we're given the values of the two limits of the individual functions. We've got the functions added together on top. We've got a constant times g of x on the bottom. So we know that this must be from using the quotient law that we can take expressions one on top of the other and split them up. So let's just do this piece by piece. We know that this can be the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x plus g of x over the limit as x approaches 3 of 6 times g of x. That's using quotient law. And then we can further simplify the numerator by using the addition law. We know that if we have the two things added together, we can split them apart. So that's the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x plus the limit as x approaches 3 of g of x. We use that using our addition law. We still have a denominator down here, but we can also pull it apart. We know because of the constant multiplier law that if we have a limit of a constant times a function, that's the same as the constant times the limit of that function. So this is the same as 6 times the limit as x approaches 3 of g of x. So now I've got these all in terms of values that I know. So limit as x approaches 3 of f of x is 6, plus the limit of g of x as approaches 3 is 10, divided by 6 times the limit, again, g of x is 10, so that would be 16 over 60, or to reduce it will be 4/15. And since this is more of a mathematical question and not an application, I think fraction would be an exact fraction would be the right way to go rather than trying to convert it to a decimal.